So Apple just upgraded the MacBook Air, but should you buy it in 2017? The design is almost 7 years old, but it is thinner than the current iPhone. The butterfly key mechanism is missing, but the keyboard is very tactile and very pleasing to use. Also, it glows at night. Unlike any other MacBook, it does not have any USB-C ports. It has all the old ports, including the Thunderbolt, the SD card slot, 2 USB ports, and a MagSafe connector. Now the MagSafe is actually magnetic and takes the cable off as soon as someone trips it over. Though the only letdown and deal breaker about this laptop is actually its screen. It's 7 years old, lacks the viewing angles, and does not have the P3 color gamma. One fun fact is that this is the only MacBook on which the Apple logo glows. It also has a 720p FaceTime camera, which is not terrible, but is actually better than the 1312-inch MacBook. There is a green light next to the camera to indicate that the camera is turned on. The trackpad is actually really nice, but if you press it hard, it'll shake the entire laptop. But the trackpad actually has gestures, so if you pinch it with your 5 fingers, it actually comes up to the launch pad. You can actually scroll from here to go to different windows. You can create different windows, swipe with 3 fingers. It's pretty cool. But coming to the SSDs, Apple upgraded to the PCIe SSDs, which will be surprisingly faster. So to test that out, I performed the Blackmagic app test, and on the write side, I almost got 620 to 630 megabits per second. And on the read side, I was almost getting 700. Now this is not a big change or a drastic update. The old read side speeds were almost 400 and the write side was around 300 something. So it is a change, but not a drastic one. But you will notice a drastic change in day-to-day usage and in gaming, because they upgraded to Intel 6000 graphics from 5000. Now if you want to do editing, Photoshop, or actually heavy usage on this thing, it gets the job done, but it's not the perfect machine to do this thing because the heat temperature can go really high on this MacBook. Siri works, but it does not have an individual button like the Touch Bar model. But overall, 2017 MacBook Air is a perfect blend between portability and productivity, and you cannot argue more for the price. Now the base model starts around $1,000 and goes up to $1,200 for the 13-inch one, which actually has 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, which is upgradable to 512, 14-hour battery life. It is pretty good. But the big question here is, should you buy the MacBook Air in 2017 or not? Now the MacBook Air is the most popular Mac that Apple makes. That is why they gave it an upgrade to keep it up in the line. Maybe they come up with something new in fall, but it still has a charm it had 7 years ago when it was launched. Now Apple also makes a MacBook that is actually $1,300, which is $100 more from the top MacBook Air. That thing has a better display, a better trackpad, a butterfly mechanism keyboard, has no touch bar though, but has USB-C ports. So actually that thing is more worth for your money. But if you're into design, this thing cannot go wrong. I mean, it has all the old ports, but it's on you. If you want better specs and more worth for your money, go for the newer MacBook without a touch bar. But if you're into design, this thing beats them all.